What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Veve Bros, the channel where we talk about all things Veve past, present, and future. I'm Grandison Crawford.
And I'm Tony, get the
And
Omi.
you know what it is. Cue the intro. Yeah.
I was listening to Comics and Crypto, and they were talking about renting collectibles, and I was like, man, like I think it's very close to happening, on the VV app. And this video right here is them discussing it, and I thought it was a cool video, and just wanted to share it to the people.
Yeah, let's share that real quick. And I also got something before we go back.
Let me do that. So here's Comics and Crypto, and they're discussing on their latest video about passive income with renting NFTs.
Spencer, what are some examples? I mean, is this happening right now in Web3? Are there places or opportunities where you can rent out your owned assets for money and make passive income?
Definitely. Yeah. A couple that I know of off the top of my head, Splinterlands. Splinterlands is a trading card game. They've been around for at least like 2 or 3 years now at this point. You can basically play the game, and it's a play and earn game. So by playing their actual trading card game against other players, you can earn money. And if you don't have time to actually play the game, you can rent your cards out to other players for a small amount of money per card, per however much time you're renting it out for. And you can actually earn passive income on those cards.
We know somebody that's one of the higher guys on the leaderboard, and he was telling us that at one point he was making $500 a day. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. $500 a day, passive income. That's incredible.
Granted, that was like at the peak of NFTs. So
sure,
probably not making quite as much anymore, but still, I mean, even if he's making $100 a day, that's still $100 that he didn't have in his pocket. So
yeah, just passive income, just because of the assets that you own that are just sitting in your vault.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. Are there any other examples?
Axie Infinity is another really big one. So Axie Infinity doesn't have the exact same mechanism of renting, but they have something that's more like they call it a scholarship program. So basically, what you can do is lend your assets out to other players, and they can play on your behalf, and then you can basically split the profits with them. So like Axie Infinity has a mechanism where you can pretty much like give somebody like a login credentials for an account, where you still maintain full ownership of the assets. They're not able to mess with them or move them, but they're able to still use them, play the game, and then you can pay them out. So like, for example, I had a whole scholarship program with Axie Infinity. I had about, I think at its peak, about 10 scholars back, like it was like summer 2021, last summer. Yeah, I had like 10 people in the Philippines that were playing this game for me. I didn't really have time to actually play the game myself. Frankly, I didn't really enjoy playing the game, but there's these people that did want to play. So I was able to lend my assets out to them, and it was able to be a very equitable relationship for both of us. We split the profits 50-50. I did kind of like the managerial stuff of doing the accounting and making sure people got paid when they need to get paid, kind of like any manager does. But they were able to play, and what's great is that they weren't able to afford the assets to play the game themselves, but because I own the assets and I was able to give it to them for free to basically use it, so then basically they could just use their time to earn money for both of us. So that's another mechanism that's hugely important. But where we've seen a lot of this renting activity has mostly been in gaming.
This is exactly what we've been talking about.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that are that I have been with that since jump. I know that there's a lot of hesitance on thinking that the Marvel Mighties are going to be gamified and things like that, but a lot of these collectibles, if they just act as access keys to different events and experiences in the VV verse, or even in real life, right? Like, people are going to rent them. So say, like, for example, I couldn't go to New York for the Bat Cow events. Couldn't go. And if I could have rented out my Bat Cow to someone who wanted to go in New York just for the day, I'd be like, yo, you could pay $50, right? The event's free. So
to go see Jim Lee.
Right, to go see Jim Lee, or when they first dropped that first Bat Cow event, right? It's free booze and stuff. So I could even be like, yo, pay me $100. That's a third of what I paid for it for one day of somebody going there and getting the party. So I think that's huge. I think it's really cool, the idea of allowing people who don't necessarily have the ability to have the assets to be able to access them and engage. Because like, for me, I'm in a project called Chunk, and this is not financial advice, but basically it's people who are real big in the Minecraft space, made their own server, then they started their own company outside of PokeFind, and you could buy pieces of land, chunks of land, and eventually they're going to drop these creatures that are like Pokemon for the holders. So, you know, right now they're talking about every 3 land owned, you get 1 chunky. And I don't plan on playing in the Minecraft space, but I do plan on renting my legendary chunkies, because for buying land early, I get very unique chunkies that people can't get in the regular game if they don't own land. So, yeah, I think that's going to be huge. I think it's the good thing about Veve moving slowly compared to some of these other smaller projects is they get to look at what works, what kind of is, you know, difficult or a barrier, and then they get to apply all of the aspects that they feel are going to be best for their infrastructure. So like sometimes people get caught up in this idea of like, oh, Veve's not moving fast enough. And it's like, sometimes being the first to something isn't necessarily going to make you the best. And it's not going to give you the opportunity to see what's going on in the space around you. If a million projects come out, you have a million data points that you can say, okay, cool. We're going to do this. And we have all of the brands behind us to make that dope. So
and one of the people that I really like that's in the Veve space is Metaverse Life. Like I know a lot of people have been seeing a lot of him lately. And if you follow him on Twitter, you've seen a lot of the videos that he's created when he uses the Veve collectibles and turn them into games. I think that shit is fire, bro. Like, and if you have somebody like that on the team that's getting behind, you know, Veve, I mean, I think Veve, man, will really be dropping the bag if they don't hire that man, to be honest. Like, you know, and have him be at least, you know, somewhat a part of the you know, creating the games on the app.